Final exam practice video, question 3, if else, continued. And this is now part 3 of question 3. Given the following code, we're supposed to find values for x, y, z, and f so that this output will match. So in the first one, we're trying to get foo to print out. So looking at this one, first of all, we have two different tests. This is one test here, and then this is a completely separate test that will always run no matter what happens in the first block, because there's no else here, so they are not connected to each other. If I want foo to print out, then x has to be the minimum value. X has to be less than y, and x has to be less than z. So that's my first criteria. And if you want to, you can write that out. That might help. X is minimum. Whatever you can do to keep yourself organized is good. In order to fall down, so in the second part, which controls BAS, I need to not pass this test and definitely pass this test. So y and z can't be equal to each other. Well, actually, this one, y and z could be equal to each other in this case. One of these things has to fail in order for me to go down and test this. In order to succeed, I can see that y and z have to be equal to each other. So I need, and I could notate that maybe over here on the right. So number 1, x is minimum, y is equal to z, and then what has to happen with f? So say that I've set y is equal to z, then it doesn't really matter what I choose for f, actually, because if y and z are equal to each other, then this first part will fail, and that's enough to make the whole and fail. So f can be anything. And then given these rules, I now can say, let's say x is 0, y and z are 1, and f, it doesn't matter, I'll just pick something. Okay, for part B, foo and then bar, so similar thing where x has to be the minimum as well for this one, so x is min. Now I'm going to try to print bar instead. So in order for this to match, it means that both of these things have to pass. So I have a few more criteria in this case. Y can't equal z, so y not equal z, and f, not f has to be true, so f has to be false. That helped me. F has to be false, number 1, that's the easiest one. Y and z can't be equal to each other, and x has to be less than both of those. So let me just make it easy for myself and say 0, 1, 2, and f is false. For the third one, I need bar to print out and BAS. So for foo to not print out, x just has to be not the minimum. I think it's helpful, especially in an exam situation, to kind of give yourself a little bit of meta information as you're going. Also, if you make a silly mistake on the test, either just because of carelessness or because you forgot something or because you're nervous, then your instructor can at least look through your thought process and maybe give you some partial credit. Okay, so I need to print both bar and BAS. Well, what do we know about if statements here? If I print bar, there's no way that I'll go into this else if here, because these two are connected. I can only either print bar or print BAS. There is no way for me to print both bar and BAS, so not possible. That is part 3 of question 3.